Hey, folks, welcome to the program. This, of course, is Stinchfield, the podcast. I love the dynamic duo of President Trump and RFK Jr. I think them talking about a healthy America, talking about our food supply, talking about big pharma is only going to benefit everyone. And one of the other, add him to this dynamic duo, is Ron Johnson. Now, I'm not sure how healthy Ron Johnson is, but at least Ron Johnson, the senator from Wisconsin, has been a big defender of freedom, and he's been a big defender going after big pharma. Well, he held a roundtable this week in the United States Senate, brought in health experts from across the world. They weren't talking about the V word. What they were talking about was health, was processed foods, was chemicals in our food, was dye in our food, and what this is mean for cancer rates and obesity and all of those things. So I thought, who better to bring on the program than a guy who has created a program of his own that gets back to this idea of mind, body, and soul, total picture of getting your health back to the way, what I would say as God intended it to be without all the processed foods. Inner Cellular Hydration, we'll talk about that, what that means. And we'll go through some of the clips from this roundtable in the United States Senate and get the response of John Jubilee from Energized Health. And let me just remind you folks, energizedhealth.com/grant. Cellular hydration. We'll explain a little bit about what that is, but it's also about taking your life back. I've said if you want to lose 200 pounds, you want to lose 20 pounds, or you just want to tighten it up and take control of your life, this program has been life-changing for me. I feel better. My skin, I think, looks better. I've lost zero muscle mass. In fact, I've actually gained muscle mass. My testosterone has gone up as a byproduct of eating healthy. My visceral fat and other fat is all way off, down. These are good things to be losing. Fat. I've lost 15 pounds now in the first 6 weeks of this program, and now I'm steadying out and feeling great. So we're going to talk about all of this today as we get the party started. Again, energizedhealth.com/grant. Please pay them a visit. Let's get it started.
Uncensored and unapologetic. This is Stinchfield. Here's your host, Grant Stinchfield.
All right, welcome everybody. As promised, John Jubilee is one of the founders of Energized Health. John, welcome to the program.
Hey, excited to be here, Grant. And man, you are looking amazing.
Well, you know, I had a viewer of the podcast email me last night and said, "Hey, does the Energized Health system really work? Is it, or is they just buying time?" I said, "No, man. This has literally, I'm going to say, changed my life because I feel better. I believe my mind is clearer." Now, that's hard to measure because I always thought I was pretty good, but I believe my mind is clear. I'm more cognizant of things around me, able to remember things better. And then I know from a physical standpoint, I'm in way better shape because the metrics all tell me I am, and especially down fat and visceral fat, that inside fat. And I've lost a lot of it, John. Yeah.
Well, Grant, I'm super stoked for you, man. And you're one of those guys, Grant, you were in good shape. You were in good shape, but good is the enemy, right? Good is the enemy of best.
All right.
And I really see you at your best, man. You look amazing.
I like to say I'm humbly confident, maybe humbly cocky. You know, I believe that I'm very good at what I do and I work hard, but I'm also very humble and grateful to everything I have. But I'll tell you, I mean, sometimes I look in the mirror now and I'm like, man, that is so much better than what it was before. And that is it's an absolutely great feeling to have. But I wanted to ask you, there was this hearing in Washington. Finally, the conversation is being started about processed foods. What is your thought on, and I shouldn't just say processed foods, maybe I should say overly processed foods.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm really glad you brought that up because, Grant, I always, my whole life, I was not even a glass half full guy. I was a glass overfulling. I was very rose-colored glasses, optimistic, always see the good in people. And, I really just couldn't believe there's this diabolical plot, right, to do these bad things to people. But unfortunately, after 64 years of life, yes, 64 years, I'm 64 years young. After 64 years of life and stepping back and looking at the big picture, I really do believe it's this simple, folks. I really do believe there is a big diabolical plot. I just hate to say it, but it's really true. They overprocess the food, and what that does, it makes us just sick enough. It doesn't kill us, but it makes us just sick enough that we have to become part of the big process cycle of the whole medical thing. So now we're going to get diabetes. Now we're going to get high blood pressure. Now we're going to get arthritis. We're going to get all these health issues that basically drain us of trillions of dollars. Yes, trillions of dollars of money. It is like a big diabolical plot. Like they don't want us to get bad enough cancer to kill us. They just want it to be enough so that we have to spend $250,000 to have it treated, so that they could basically bleed us dry, just keep us alive long enough to milk us for all our money. That's kind of the big picture.
It sure seems like that when you look at the outcomes. We've got cancer rates up, we've got obesity up, we've got diabetes up in every level. And you think about these food manufacturers, they're going to process the foods, they're going to use all kinds of chemicals, so it becomes way cheaper to make the food, so they end up probably making more money on that front. Meanwhile, getting us all sicker, and I guess their partners in the institutionalized health industry will then get rich off of treating our sickness. That's the plot, I guess. I can't believe we really are living in a world that we even have to consider this as a reality.
Well, it's funny. They say, if you watch Hollywood movies, eventually a Hollywood movie that you thought was a fantasy becomes a reality, right? So you look at all these movies, and I remember, Grant, back in the 70s, there was a movie that there was a food manufacturer, and they were putting an ingredient in their food that made people addicted to it. And so then everyone was buying their food. So they're becoming a, multi-billion-dollar company because of this addictive substance they're putting in their food. And ironically, scientifically, sugar is addictive. Sugar is addictive. And I would challenge all the listeners, next time you go through the grocery store, just take 10 minutes and do a little project. Walk down any aisle, pick up any food in those middle aisles. I guarantee you 99% have sugar.
Yeah.
Why would you put sugar in a potato chip? It's supposed to be salty.
Yeah.
But the potato chips you love, I guarantee, the ones you're addicted to,
have sugar.
I guarantee you they have sugar, because it is an addictive substance. Sugar is addictive, and they're putting it in all these foods, so we get addicted to the sugar.
Let me ask you, and I want to get to some clips from the hearing, but let me ask you this about sugar, because on the Energized Health program that you've helped me through and that I'm on now, I've cut a lot of sugar out of my diet. I try. Now, it's very difficult to cut all sugar. Is there a certain amount of grams that you would look for in a meal that if you're doing that, hey, you know what, if I'm going to sit down in this and it's got 2 grams of sugar or 12 grams of sugar, is there a level there that's acceptable, or should it just be totally zero?
Oh, no, absolutely not. You can't do totally zero. You can't do it. You can't do it. I would bet anybody $1 billion. You cannot go zero sugar in America. At least in America, you can't. Yeah. Maybe in Europe you could, but you can't do it in America. So I tell people, look, you got to live real life, right? You got to live real life. And so single digits, 9 grams or lower, your body, if you're healthy at the cellular level, your body's still just going to burn that sugar up. So it'll burn it up. A little bit of glucose is actually okay. It really is. It's actually healthy. Your cells do need some glucose, but just try to keep it 9 or lower.
All right.
9 or lower on your sugar grams.
I'm doing well. So here's been my goal. 3 or less. I'll sometimes hit 5 and I feel bad about it. But I'm like, okay, and then a lot of stuff I'm eating, I don't have any sugar. It's just vegetables, other than maybe what would be considered natural fruit or whatever, something like that. But so anyway, all right, let me play a clip. This is a friend of mine. She actually works for Turning Point USA. Her name is Alex Clark. I don't know if you ever met her, but she's a phenomenal conservative mind, and she reaches a lot of young people, especially young women, with her podcast. Well, she was asked to testify at this roundtable in the United States Senate, and I thought I'd play her because what she said here got a lot of publicity among the conservative crowd that are really, really concerned about these processed foods and what's going on. So this is Alex Clark.
Children today are about 20% more likely to develop type 1 diabetes than they were 20 years ago. Childhood cancer rates are rising a percentage point every year. Asthma is up, so is ADHD, allergies, virtually every type of psychological disorder. In 1980, autism was diagnosed at a rate of just 3 or 4 per 100,000 kids. Today, a newborn child has a 1 in 36 chance that he or she will be autistic. And that rate is also rising every year. Who cares about politics if the next generation is dead or close to it before they can even vote? Just to reiterate the war on moms in this country, today, virtually everything a child eats or drinks will be served on a plastic plate, in a plastic bottle, or be eaten from a plastic container with plastic utensils. Human breast milk now contains thousands of microplastics. If you need formula, you can't find it without inflammatory seed oils or soy. Parents have to order it and buy it from Europe. Does this all seem overwhelming to you? Good. This is what the American mom deals with every day.
So that is Alex Clark. She raises a lot of issues. Now, some of them I'm right there with her on. Some of them I just live my life. Look, if it's a plastic plate, I love my styrofoam cup. I hate to say it, but it doesn't sweat. When I get in the Uber and I got a roadie with me, I love a styrofoam cup. Kill me, okay? So she talks about the plastic plates, but she did say something interesting in the beginning. Who cares about politics if you're dead? Nothing means anything, John. This election coming up, it doesn't mean anything to anybody if we're not here to experience the result of hopefully President Trump winning. She's got a point here.
No, 1,000%, Grant. And, and to the point of, the children of this generation, because of the overly processed foods, the sugar, the super sugar injected diets that kids are on today, that's what's causing kids to literally launch into, now notice she said type 1. So there's literally children being pushed into type 1 diabetes where they have to have insulin shots the rest of their life, let alone the millions being pushed into type 2 diabetes, where, again, it causes all kinds of health issues. You can have there's 70,000 feet chopped off every year from type 2 diabetes, not even from type 1, because of the circulatory issues that it causes. And Grant, this is the first generation that literally scientifically they're saying the parents could outlive the children because of what the transition has been, of all these processed foods, all the sugars that these kids are eating.
Well, no parent certainly wants to outlive their child. I mean, that's the worst, is no parent ever wants to bury a child for sure. But a couple other things she mentioned. She did mention the plastic plates and plastic and everything. I imagine it can't be good. What's your thoughts on all of that?
Well, I'm just going to say this. So I really do believe in the power of our words and of our faith. And I really do believe that you do have the power of belief. So, there's actually, and I'm just going to quote the Bible here. Jesus said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And by the words of your lips, you will be satisfied. In other words, you will have what you say. Mm-hmm. So I do believe sometimes people can be activated by fear. I remember 30 years ago, I was drinking out of an aluminum can, and a guy said, don't you know that's going to kill you and that's going to give you cancer? And I said, brother, it may give you cancer, but it's not going to give me cancer. Like, I don't believe any aluminum can or any plastic plate or any of those things can harm me. Mm-hmm. And obviously, 64 years old, I haven't been sick for a day, and, in 30 years, the power of my words. So I believe people should have faith and not be fear-based. So I don't believe plastic is going to harm anybody. I really don't. I don't subscribe to that. But I do believe we need to be intentional about what we're putting in our mouth. And when I say that, I want to quickly say this to people. Listen, guess what, guys? Once or twice a week, you know what? I'm eating my ice cream. I'm eating my carrot cake. when you're healthy at the cellular level, you can enjoy your God-given taste buds.
Yeah.
So don't think I'm talking about some tofu and wheatgrass diet here, because I'm not eating no tofu and no wheatgrasses going in these taste buds, because that doesn't taste good. So there's a way to live healthy and to have moderation. And I really believe that's the way to live. It's in moderation. So I eat my In-N-Out double cheeseburgers and French fries, and and I have a root beer float once or twice a week, but I don't have it every day, 3 times a day. There's moderation in life.
Well, I can attest to this because I'm still eating most of the same foods that I've eaten before on the Energized Health program. I have not found it very difficult. And I tell you, I told you before too, I'm not perfect all the time, but I know when I'm mostly perfect following the plan, that if I go and I have a meal at a restaurant and it's a little outside the bounds of where I should be, I know it's not going to kill me because I'm not doing it every day. And that was the difference between before. I was doing this every day. Now, as you said, once or twice a week, if you want to cheat a little bit here or there, you can do it. But I don't even like to use the word cheating because, again, I'm really haven't changed. I've just changed the way I eat, not so much what I eat, if that makes sense.
Well, Grant, can I just give you another C word? So instead of cheating, I would call that your celebration day. It's a celebration. So a couple of days a week, everyone should have a celebration day of, hey, I can celebrate being healthy, and I can go have my carrot cake and Blue Bunny ice cream. I can go have a root beer float and a double cheeseburger. I can have a double sausage, double pepperoni pizza. These are real things, by the way, that we really eat at the Jubilee home. But we call it a celebration day. It's like, no, I get to celebrate, but I'm living a life of moderation.
So I will tell you, it takes a guy like me a little bit to get there because I've got to trust the process. And over these last 6, 7, 8 weeks now that I've been doing Energized Health, obviously I become more and more trusting the process because I see the results, literally, physically, mentally, and those types of things. But, I'm so driven to make it. I hate, and I'm worried that if I cheat, that I'm going to step on the scale the next day. And then as I'm testing the process and seeing that's not happening, I feel much better off with this. So I agree with you on the plastic. I mean, I eat, my food off a plastic plate. But here's where I'm not sure I should put it in the microwave and microwave something in there. Who knows? I don't know if that's great. I could think as positively as I want, but I know I'm not protected from a bus. That doesn't mean I can't step in front of a bus and be hurt, right? You gotta choose your spots here. And I think you're spot on when it comes to some of this other stuff. It gets a little crazy and a little too hard to live by. But seed oils, she mentioned, that's another thing I've heard a lot about, and I'm not liking what I'm hearing about seed oils. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I 1,000% only recommend, the only oil I would ever stick in my personal body is coconut oil, olive oil, or MCT oil, which is a derivative of coconut oil. Those are the only oils you want to be putting in your body. No, those seed oils are highly processed. You might as well, go get some car oil. If you're going to put a seed oil in your body, that's just like drinking motor oil. It really is. It is very detrimental. It's very unhealthy to your body. You should never put any of those seed oils in your body.
Okay. Let me play another clip. This is another doctor. I believe he's a surgeon. He was talking about an example, and I believe it was the Pima Indians, okay? And he was explaining what happens once government gets involved in our food supply. Take a listen.
We have the most over-medicated, sickest population in the world, and no one is talking about the root causes. The Pima Indians are the perfect example. Here's a group where the obesity, diabetes rate was less than 1%. The land in New Mexico and Arizona had its river supply diverted by ranchers and settlers, and the land and the soil was destroyed. The government, recognizing this tremendous injustice, started to send free government food, but it wasn't organic kale and fruits and vegetables. It was processed and junk food. Instantly, the Pima Indians developed an obesity diabetes rate of 90%.
So I don't think it's probably just the Pima Indians. I think this has a lot to do with poverty, maybe not because they're Indians, but poverty and processed foods. It's way cheaper to eat a bag of potato chips than it is to go buy avocados.
No, no, 1,000%. And again, this is part of the, this is part of the revelation, right? Of is it really a diabolical plot? Well, you know what? Based on results, guys. And, again, I'd like to be positive and say everyone loves everybody and they want the best for people, but based on results, that's not the fact. Based on results, they'd rather put people into the healthcare system, treat their diabetes, which is tens of thousands of dollars a year, treat their high blood pressure, treat their obesity. I mean, they say an obese person, Grant, is about $110,000 per person during their lifetime, just treating obesity. So, all these numbers, and when people are on, government paid, which obviously the government just writes a blank check, right, for everything. But then what happens? Then it goes into the medical system, and it is this big wheel of fortune, where the government, big pharma, the medical institutions, they're all making billions and trillions of dollars at the expense of the health of the common person.
Do you think, a lot of these things are said to cause cancer? When you look at some of these chemicals that are in our processed foods, and you talk about the dyes that are in our food and those types of things. I've often heard, and I've seen a lot of evidence that the medical industry doesn't want to cure cancer. Cancer is such a multi-billion-dollar industry that it would be devastating to cure cancer because a lot of people would go broke if they did.
Well, again, I'm just a very logical person. So let's just, reverse, how much money has been donated over the last 50 years to the American Cancer Society. Are you really going to tell me that in this age, when we can launch a rocket, land it on a rocket pad, we can land it now on a rocket pad, we can create electric cars, we can create robots that can jump and dance. You're telling me that we have had billions of dollars donated to cancer research and we haven't solved that one?
Yeah.
I just can't believe it. I can't believe what the technology we have. And to me, Grant, I'm a simplifier of complex things. All cancer is a mutated cell. All it is a mutated cell. It's an unhealthy cell. And as we've learned at Energized Health over 27 years, we make cells healthy. And it's not that hard to make a cell healthy. What makes a cell healthy? It has to be hydrated. So when cells get dehydrated, they malfunction. When the cell malfunctions, the organ malfunctions, and this is what is the root cause of cancer. So to us, it's very easy to reverse it. Let's just get hydrated at the cellular level. Let's optimize our organs. And again, this isn't the scientific term. It's my term. I call them Terminator cells. They're healthy. Like the Terminator went in there and took out the bad guys. Well, guess what? You have cells in your body that go in and they attack cancer cells. When you have your healthy cells, even when your body tries to produce a cancer cell, these Terminator cells come in and they attack those cells and they do reverse. It is reversible already.
Well, it's amazing. And this idea of intercellular hydration, which you have as a large part of the Energized Health program, when you think about it, it becomes very simple. But the science behind this is years and years and years of science, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it really is. It's 27 years. We filed multiple patents of our patent process of how to get healthy at the cellular level. And again, I would just encourage anybody, when I went and looked at this for the first time, Grant, I literally, my brain, it just goes to the bottom line. And I realized, wait a minute, you have 14 trillion cells in your body. If your cells are healthy, your organs are healthy. If your organs are healthy, you are healthy. It's impossible to make a healthy cell sick.
Am I oversimplifying it when I say a hydrated cell? When you're hydrated at the cellular level, those cells, instead of hard marbles, they're like sponges. They're easy to absorb nutrients, and also I would say like a shield, repel bad stuff.
That's exactly what it is. It's that simple. It really is.
Right,
it's that simple.
So this is what you get with Energized Health. And I urge people, you see the website underneath John's name there, energizedhealth.com/Grant. If you want to learn more about this, go to the website. They'll get right back to you, and I promise you're not going to regret it. I'm literally, and it's not a lot of things that I've done I can say I'm literally living proof of something I've endorsed, but this is it. I mean, 6 weeks, I'm down 15 pounds. My hydration is way up, and I've measured this, scientifically measured it, not just me saying it, measured. I've got the stats to back it up. Not a lot of products out there that can make those claims.
Yeah. Well, and you know what's fun, Grant, is we tell people, like, we don't even make a claim. We just share real stories of tens of thousands of people for 27 years. And I would encourage people to, hey, if you think you're a skeptical person, that's okay. I say skeptical people are intelligent people. You know, just go do your research. Go look at Trustpilot, go look at Google, go look at Facebook reviews. Look at tens of thousands of people for 27 years who say it sounded too good to be true, but it changed my life.
Yeah. I
reversed my spinal stenosis, my arthritis, my diabetes, my high blood pressure, my Meniere's disease, my vertigo, whatever it is. That's why we give people a money back guarantee, Grant. We're not salespeople. We don't sell anything. We share an experience. We invite people into an experience.
Yep.
And if it changes their life, we're best friends. And if it doesn't, we'd refund their money.
Right.
But take a guess, Grant, what our success rate is for 27 years.
I mean, maybe is it really 100%? Could it possibly be?
It's 99.1.
99.1%.
99.1. Because some people, Grant, are just sweet, lazy slugs, and they just won't do it.
No, they want the easy way. I go to an anti-aging doctor, and this really, I'm seeing signs that I'm going to be able to do away with some of the supplements I'm taking as I watch my things change here. But he's funny because he knows that people want to just come in, they want to take a shot, and then all of a sudden they think they're going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not how it works. Like, you go get a shot and it can help you, but you still got to take some personal responsibility and things. And this is better because this isn't about shots. I want to tell everybody out there, this is the opposite of that. And so it's about just living a healthy. I always say it's the way God intended us to live. And I don't think I'm wrong in saying that, John. Am I?
No, 1,000%. No, God gave us a roadmap. He really did. He is our health GPS, and he gave us a roadmap. He's the manufacturer. So if something goes wrong with your car, what do? You look in the manual of the manufacturer of how to go fix that. God knew exactly how he designed us, and he knew, in the Bible, it says you'll be like a tree planted by a river of living water, and a tree absorbs through the roots. And that's what intracellular hydration is. It's absorbing through your root system of your body, of how you're designed. And when you do that, your organs are optimized, your health is optimized.
It's amazing. You look at the Bible and all these things, not just on levels like this, other things, prophecy, it's all spelled out there. Really amazing when you start to look at it. Let me play one more clip. This is a gentleman by the name of Max Lugavere. I believe that's how you say his name. He's with Genius Foods. And I want you to listen to him because I thought of you when he says something here. So I want to play this.
We are not simply living longer, we are dying longer. Chronic diseases are becoming more prevalent, and we're living out our final decades plagued by illnesses that are largely preventable with the right interventions. But here's the problem. A fraction of the money spent on chronic disease goes towards the research and promotion of these interventions. For brain disease specifically, my passion, prevention accounts for only 2 cents of every research dollar spent. Think about that for a moment. The majority of our resources are being funneled into treatment while we're barely investing in stopping these diseases before they start. It's a short-sighted approach to one of the greatest public health challenges of our time. Prevention isn't just an option, it's the only solution. In what seems like a coordinated effort between the food industry and the upper echelons of academia and nutrition science, the dangers of ultra-processed foods continue to be suppressed, while the fear-mongering of nutrient-dense whole foods, such as red meat and eggs, continues. Even Harvard recently published a study correlating red meat consumption to type 2 diabetes. No legitimate researcher believes that unprocessed red meat consumption, which has declined over past decades while type 2 diabetes rates soar, is causally related to type 2 diabetes.
All right, so that's the part I wanted you to hear, because I have increased my amount of red meat on Energized Health. I don't know if it was by design from Energized Health, but as I'm looking at what I want to be eating, my protein intake, where I want to be, red meat was a great option. Now, I've always been a carnivore. I'm like a T-Rex when it comes to this stuff. I eat so much red meat, and all you're told is that eggs and red meat is no good for you, no good for you, no good for you. But he just said it. Diabetes goes up as consumption of those things goes down. So what are they talking about?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely jump on this with both feet, because I will tell people scientifically, you could go research this yourself. Like, we are absolutely made to eat red meat and eggs. Like, those are two of the most perfect proteins on the planet Earth, two of the most healthy things you can ever stick in your body. And I can prove it by this. There are 2 amino acids in red meat that are not in any other protein on the planet. So if God didn't want us to eat red meat, why would he only put those 2 proteins in red meat? No, they're in there because you're supposed to eat it. And for those of you that are still doubting, look, I'm just going to go to the Bible, the #1 selling book of all time. When the prodigal son came home, did they serve a salad and tofu? No, they killed the fatted calf. No, it was prime rib and steak on the grill to celebrate. Like, no, their red meat is a good thing. An egg is one of the most healthiest proteins in the universe. And what is the most healthy part of the egg? For all of you egg white eaters, quit doing that. You're throwing away the healthiest part of the egg is the egg yolk. Yeah. The egg yolk is filled with choline, and choline will raise your healthy cholesterol. You'll have better cholesterol if you ate 12 eggs a day. There was a farming family, 4 boys and a dad. They eat 12 eggs a day, and they're documented on record. They have one of the lowest and healthiest cholesterols. You know, they have the great healthy cholesterol. They have the low bad cholesterol documented at 12 eggs a day. So red meat and eggs, super, super healthy for us. Again, you can look in the Bible and see God's basic design. Yeah. And again, I'll just use one other example here. When Jesus twice made a meal, and both times it was protein and carbs. Yeah. It was protein and carbs.
Everything I love.
He served fish and bread. He served protein and carbs. So the keto stuff, guys, is out the window. Nobody should be on the keto diet. It works for a minute, but you'll never see somebody that's been on the keto diet for 10 years and is still healthy. Their digestive system is destroyed. Their healthy flora is gone. Not healthy.
I knew there was a problem. I tried the keto diet a couple of years ago. And when I got sick off the beginning, I got the keto flu. I knew that's not a good thing if you're getting sick off of what you're eating. And then I got over it, and I lost weight on it, but I couldn't keep eating salami and cheese all my life. I mean, that's just wasn't going to work. So this has been absolutely phenomenal. As I said, folks, energizedhealth.com/Grant. I'm eating everything that just about everything that I ate before. And I'm feeling better. My weight is down, and I'm so grateful to you guys, John Jubilee, the coaches there, recipes that you guys have, all of the resources that come along with it, motivational videos, daily contact with me. I mean, it's just been a great process, and I'm so happy and honored I've been able to take part in this and gotten to know you as a friend, because you guys are good people, and I tell people that. I mean it. You guys are good people, and I urge people to get with Energized Health if you want to change your life.
Well, Grant, we're just honored to be on the journey with you. You're a world changer, and we need to keep you around for 120 years at full strength. And I really believe that's what we're designed.
Here's the next thing you're going to have me do then. If I'm going to live to 120 years, you're going to have to figure out, I'm doing okay. Don't get me wrong. I make a decent living, but I'm going to have to figure out just so I can make it a little bit more, but maybe I'll be able to work longer, so I won't have to worry about it. I can work into my hundreds. How about that? And I love what I do, so that wouldn't be so bad.
Hey, you're going to be a hologram. You're going to be a hologram coming into living rooms of people when you're 100.
Oh, I feel sorry for those people. John Jubilee, it's great having you on the program. Energizedhealth.com/Grant. Buddy, thank you as always for coming on.
Well, thank you, Grant. And thank you for everything you do for America, man. You're a true patriot and love you, brother.
I appreciate that. And right back at you. And, the bottom line, folks, is we do it because it is important to do. And it's about being bold, and it's about taking the matters in your own hands and making it happen, whether it's trying to save a nation and doing your little part, or whether it's trying to save yourself and doing your little part. But you need help in all of it, okay? You can't do it alone, and you also have to take an active role in it. Energized Health will help you get to wherever you want to be when it comes to your body and your health and your mindset. So I would urge you to call them, get with them, energizedhealth.com/Grant, and learn what cellular hydration is, and start feeling great like I do at 55 years old. God bless all of you. We'll see you on the Real America's Voice show tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Stinchfield's Army rolls. Thanks to all of you. We'll see you here tomorrow, folks. Bye.